aura clearing reading for what you give. So during your last reading, there were some blocks that came up, and so now you've decided to get the aura clearing. And even though I didn't receive a code name, I guess I'm just in the habit of surrounding the person now before I go into the reading, because I'm so used to having to do that to get the code name first. And I also pulled some runes during this reading. So that's something that happened last time as well. I had forgotten about that, but then I felt to pull some runes again. So we have some runic energies coming in. When I created the circle, I called dragons into the space. And if I remember right, there were dragons or some type of dragon energy that came in during your last reading. And also, then there was just this kind of overall kind of Celtic kind of feeling coming in. And I was using a Celtic meditation music for when I cast the circle and called the energies to protect the space and pulled the runes. So we had a lot of Celtic energies coming in, and there's also a guide that is coming in. And it's showing up on your picture. There's like literally energy that is moving on your picture and in your picture. Every time I turn away, but then even when I look right at it a couple of times, it's passed on your picture. This white light and definitely a female kind of energy coming in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get into the runes. I pulled some crystals as well for the clearing, but let's start with these runes. So this is the first one I pulled out of my rune bag here, and this is Onsus. And Onsus represents the god Odin, and Odin is basically like the father of the pantheon. And this rune means a number of different things. It can mean a number of different things. However, one of the things that it means is like insight or message. And like I said, this is Odin's rune. And what was coming in, the energy with this rune was basically, it really felt to me almost like a past life that you had where you were connected, you were very connected to magic and these types of energies, runes and dragons, these different things coming in. They're coming in for a reason. They're coming in because you've had at least one Celtic lifetime for sure where you were tapped into these energies, or where you were tapping in or even attempting to tap into these energies. And also there's a connection with Odin specifically as well. And then the second rune we have here is Wunjo. Wunjo, normally it's all about joy and different things like this, comfort, but it can also mean like a spiritual reward of some type, or almost like you go through this journey, this long, treacherous journey, and then there's something that you find, that you've gained, like a comfort that's found at the end. And so that's really what this is about. That's more a the journey and all this. This isn't really something that I found like reading about this rune. That's just more something coming in intuitively, but it does specifically mean spiritual reward. So that's just something extra kind of coming in with the interpretation for this reading. This long journey and this reward at the end. So then thirdly, I have Suelu here. And Suelu is in some ways similar to Wunjo because it's all about success and different things. Wunjo can mean like success. And Sewelu is the sun. Wunjo is joy. Like I said, Ansuz represents the god Odin. So each rune represents a specific thing, or it means a specific thing. And obviously it has other meanings, but almost as a recap, it'll have one thing that it means. Sewelu represents the sun. So it represents happiness, success, things like this. However, it can also represent contact with your reality, or what other people would call the higher self, or even contact with some kind of higher energy. And it also represents energies that are available to you in the present moment, energies that are available to you now. Okay, so when we combine all of these, so you have these energies from this deity Odin and this past life there going on where you attempted to tap into energies, magic, and energetic influences, deities and such, runes, rune casting, this type of thing. Then we have Wunjo, who is talking about your spiritual reward, something that you gain after a while. And you have Sewelu here, who's talking about connecting to higher energies, including your own self. Okay, including a higher aspect of yourself, or the reality. So in the council's version is in the higher aspect. It would be more the deepest version of yourself without any programmings. So when we put all these together, you can see you have had, and this is an intuitive interpretation, not just logically played out here. So I was shown this, given this through feelings, really. This is clairsentience coming in. But you can see you've had this lifetime, at least one lifetime, where you attempted to tap into these energies, work with Odin and various deities, because this guide that you have coming in really she feels like a goddess type of energy, really. There's a little bit of fairy kind of energy in there with her too, feels like. And then we have Wunjo talks about a spiritual reward, like it was saying, after a journey. And we have this Sewelu who's saying energies available to you in the present moment. So you had this lifetime, you attempted to tap into these energies. I got the feeling that even though you were attempting to tap into energies back then, and even though back then the energy may have been a little bit higher on Earth, of course, it is raising again now, so it is easier to tap into certain things. But I kind of got the feeling that you hadn't really developed those like psychic abilities, really metaphysical abilities in other lifetimes yet. And in this one, it feels like it was more or less like your first time, at least on Earth anyway, kind of tapping into these abilities. And so there was this feeling almost like you didn't really tap into them enough. You weren't really satisfied with what you could do, and also in terms of being of service to others. So it feels like you couldn't, like a lot of shamans and things, they would call down rain or things like this. It feels like you weren't really able to tap into those in the way that you wanted. To tap into your psychic abilities that you naturally have, but then they were a little bit blocked. So now, basically, in this lifetime, it's like those gifts are opening up more, and you do have them. Now you have them where you can gain access to them, and some of them are already there and available to you, like consciously available to you. The others are available to you, but you're just not really conscious of them. And that's basically what Sewelu is saying. These are available to you now. So it's like you've been gifted them because of this other lifetime that you had, and you are going to be coming into them now. It feels like either you're going to be coming into them, or you already have. It kind of feels like both to me a bit. that these are starting to open up. And also, these influences are kind of coming around you again, like they were there, but I almost get the feeling that they were kind of dormant, or that they weren't really active around you, even though they were present. And now it's almost like as you're waking up, they're kind of waking up too. Like now these influences can influence you. So you have these energies that are just becoming more active now. They're saying, yes, she's aware of us, or she is able to be aware of us. So let's get in there and get a little more, happy. Like, let's get in there and be a little more playful. Start just being more active, just more psychic activity, more psychic energy going on around you with these guides that you have. I have a kind of almost tree-ish guide kind of coming in now too. This feels like a specific tree. Okay, this is some kind of totem that you have. This is a plant totem coming in. This is it's coming in with an H. Hawthorn? Hawthorn is burned to purify and draw fairy to your eye. Draw fairies around you with this energy. That seriously makes sense with what's coming in. No, not that one. This is saying a goddess, but I'm not feeling that goddess. Okay. So I said Hawthorn deity. I'm going to try Hawthorn goddess. The hawthorn is sacred to the goddess Brigid. Okay, there we go. Bridget is the Celtic saint and goddess of purity, poetry, inspiration, and healing. Okay, there we go. So this is obviously this goddess energy coming in. All right, so we have this goddess energy coming in. All right, so I was just making sure for a second if this, I thought it was a separate energy, but I want to make sure that this isn't just her showing me this tree energy around you to say Hawthorn and then give her goddess energy name. But no, now she's standing next to this tree. So she's showing me this tree. I do feel some kind of male association with this tree, this hawthorn tree. I think there is some male deity that's associated with the hawthorn tree. And I know sometimes, like, I know I've heard of like a winter king or something like this, so it might be a fairy king. But I know there's somebody male who's associated with this tree. One of my runes fell earlier. They're all like jumbled around now. Okay. So these are some energies coming in around you. Okay, so one of the, so yeah, they're telling me that I might go a little bit over with this reading. Okay, so one of these energies, one of these abilities that you might be more consciously aware of is empathy. And this is something during the email, even without the email though, I was already sensing that. I think maybe this even came up in your last reading, if I remember right. This may have come up, this empathic ability that you have and this connection to nature that you have. I think that did come up during your last one. Of course, a lot of people with an empathic ability are connected to nature or should be connected to nature to help them ground. But I do think that came in during your last reading. And then during this email, you were talking about how your mind kind of wanders and you feel a lot of fears and anxieties. And you were saying maybe this goes back to a trauma. And certainly some things can build up from that. But I was really feeling that most of this really does come from being empathic. And so learning to calm down and center and be grounded, be out in nature. If you can't go out in nature, if it's too cold or something, etc., then have maybe plants in your house, and living plants. I don't mean flowers that are chopped and sitting there waiting to die. I mean like plants that are like alive, or flowers that are alive. Even if you can find some kind of Celtic type of thing, have that around you. So have plants around you, but even pictures, even pictures on the wall of plants or forest scenes and this kind of thing. And so you can kind of look at it when you're meditating and you can kind of visualize yourself outside. So just have nature around you as much as possible. Visualize yourself in nature to help you ground. So even if you're inside, you can visualize yourself in nature and this will help you ground. And you can see roots going down into the earth. I'm getting the feeling for some reason with your guides that you need to you need to develop visualization though, to really help you calm, to really visualize this in like as vivid a way as possible. Visualize that you are outside and as vividly as you can and in as real a way as you can. So as 3D as you can. Visualize this. That's what they would want you to do, and visualize that the roots are going down into the ground. You're breathing in, and so also they're saying a good way to do it is just to be outside. So like I said, if you can't get outside, if you really feel like I need to ground and you have to be here right now, then it's good to have some plants around you. It's good to just visualize this wherever you are. That you're grounded. You can also see a root coming out the top of your head. After you ground your feet, you can see one coming out the top of your head, and it's connecting you to the sky, and even going past that, it's connecting you to the cosmos. I'm even seeing these deities. So Bridget and Odin and this king. For some reason, I keep feeling Hawthorn. For some reason, I keep feeling Hawthorn. There's something male with Hawthorn specifically. Holly doesn't feel right as far as like if it's like another type of tree or something. I'm seeing sun gazing also. They're showing me sun gazing. Sun gazing is going to help you open up to new awareness, new possibilities. They're saying it's going to help you connect to Suelu, connect to the sun. It's going to help revitalize you, but also it's going to help you connect to these powers that you have available to you now, like Suelu was saying. So it's going to help you open up your abilities. It's going to help you open up your chakras. And they're coming in with this breathing. And they showed me that a second ago too, when they were showing me you outside in nature, and you have your toes on the ground and you're visualizing the roots. Then they were showing me you breathing. Okay, so you're going to visualize these roots that come out of your feet. They're going down into the earth, and then you breathe up. As you breathe up, you're seeing the roots going up through each chakra. I feel like you could even stand by a tree or sit and meditate by a tree. You can stand and put your hand on a tree, and you can visualize its roots even that are going down into the earth, actually almost like kind of merging with your own feet. And then these roots that are going down into the earth, it's almost like they're the tree's roots, but they're also your roots. You have some Celtic roots going on. There is definitely this Celtic energy coming in again. These were some of your main, or this anyway. If it was only one, this was one of your main lifetimes. Like which means it was very significant. It was very significant for you energetically, spiritually, for your spiritual growth. This was a significant lifetime. Even though you tapped things and couldn't fully reach your potential the way that you wanted to, still it opened up a gateway. And that's really what they're asking you to do now when they're talking about this Sawelu thing. They're talking about the sun and even the grounding. They want you to open up to these powers that you have available to you now, these energies. And they're not just talking about your abilities. They're talking about themselves, because if you remember, Sawelu talks about a higher energy coming down, sorry, not coming down through you. I feel like I was supposed to say that too. But Sawelu, I'm talking so fast, I gotta breathe. But Sawelu talks about having contact. That's an illusion, the breathing thing. We don't really need to do it, you know, this physical stuff, it's all an illusion. Anyway, but Sawelu talks about a higher energy that you're connecting to, that you contact, a higher energy that you connect with, that you contact, and that you connect with, or that you have already had contact with, but now you're just allowing this energy to pass through you more. So you're more tapped into it, you're more connected to it. Okay. So they're also talking about connecting to them, connecting to your guides. Not only the abilities that you have, but your guides also. And specifically this goddess energy, this Bridget energy. And like I said, there's some fairy energy going on there too. Okay, but I just remembered, yeah, on that site, that one thing that I read, it talked about how this hawthorn energy also brings like the fairies gaze to you. So fairies notice you and they're around you, which they're bringing me back to that word activity again. There's this fairy deity activity around you now that you didn't really have before. Okay, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the clearing. So I'm going to use my blue kyanite for starters. I'm going to actually look up blue kyanite now. They are sending me an energy to do that. Blue kyanite meaning. Okay. Kyanite aligns all chakras and subtle bodies instantly. It's an excellent stone for meditation and attunement. It provides balance of yin-yang energy and dispels blockages, moving energy gently through the physical body. So that's the thing. When you want to open up to these abilities, you have to remember your physical body. You have to ground. You have to let it pass through into physical manifestation. Otherwise, there's no point of them. You can have them like on another level of you, kind of etherically, but if you are not bringing it here into your conscious awareness, you cannot use them in a physical way. So it's about it, in a way, passing through your physical brain. And being here physically and doing physical things with it to serve others and to serve yourself, to get guidance for yourself, etc. And to get guidance as well to know what to do to serve others, where to go, etc. Okay, now blue kyanite specifically opens the throat chakra, encouraging communication and self-expression. Okay, so I get a feeling from them of almost a blocked self-expression and even sense of yourself, even sense of direction for yourself and almost how to express yourself. And I'm getting the word respect yourself and set boundaries. So this is another reason why they're saying that the blue kyanite is good, why this is good for the clearing, this is good for you, specifically with the throat chakra. Specifically for that, for the throat chakra. This is useful for public speakers and performers as it strengthens the voice and heals the throat. Okay, but okay, it also cuts through fears and blockages, helping to speak one's truth. That's the thing. It strengthens the voice, but this isn't necessarily only physical here. This is also an energetic thing. It strengthens your voice. It helps you speak your truth and express yourself, express your divine truth, your divine wisdom, awareness, and your conscious knowing. So, okay, so they're kind of differentiating this. There's something you can know etherically and it can pass through you. So like that's in a sense what I'm doing now. That's almost like channeling or mediumship. So something's passing through you, whether it's from a higher version of you or another version of you, or it is from a deity or a guide. It's passing through you. So that's something that passes through you. But then they're also saying your conscious knowing. So your conscious knowing, this is something that you already know innately, that you know yourself on this level of you, versus something channeling it to you, something passing it to you through channeling or through mediumship, which is kind of, interconnected. Channeling and mediumship, you kind of have to be a medium in order to channel, really. Even if they're different, even if you only channel and you don't like read through mediumship at the same time, you have to have at least some mediumship ability to connect like that and bring that kind of message through yourself. So you have a little bit of mediumship too going on. That's why they wanted me to say that. You have some mediumship ability too going on, but I get the feeling, yeah, they don't really want to address that right now because that's not something that you're so aware of yet. That's something that you're going to be coming into later on as you open up to what you do have and as you work with it. So they're saying, versus saying this comes from a trauma, or in other words, owning it, owning the energy that's passing to you. And in this way, I mean in a negative way, I mean from other people around you. So you're picking up on it empathically. Instead of saying to yourself, yes, this is mine, and holding it to yourself and accepting it into your energy field and saying, this is mine from a past trauma, this is my anxiety, my fear, etc. Instead of doing that, or my anger, my whatever, instead of doing that and getting all upset and taking it as your own, and holding it to you, instead of doing that, what you need to do is just kind of give it the boot. You need to kick it in the bucket and just, or throw it in the bucket. And what was I going to say? and learn to develop this ability, because this can be used also to connect to other things, especially if you have a mediumship ability too. Then you can kind of direct your empathic ability and your mediumship ability. You know, they can kind of be intertwined, and you can pick up on things from your guides. You can pick up on things empathically from them, what they are feeling, what they're sending you as feelings. And I'm not talking about clairsentience here, although it can end up getting into that. It can end up getting specific. Um, because clairsentience is really a feeling more about something, whereas empathy is just, it's what someone is feeling. It's their emotion and you are sensing it. Versus clairsentience, it's still a feeling, and it's a feeling being sent to you, or a feeling that you get, but it is relating to something. It's about someone, about something someone is experiencing, like a gut feeling. Do this, don't do that. So it is a feeling, but it's at the same time not exactly an emotion. So it's more like a sensing through feeling versus just picking up on someone else's emotion. So what they mean is you can connect to your guide's emotions, and they can send you an emotion. They can send you a calm or a love or a joy or a feeling of healing or comfort, etc. So you can tap into them and you can fill yourself with that, and you can become very calm and secure, etc. You know, a lot of good feelings, like Wunjo here. It represents joy, but there's a lot of other good feelings with it, and that can release or replace those energies that you have picked up on from other people and that you've absorbed. Okay, so getting into the clearing. All right, so I have my blue kyanite here. I actually have two of them. These are shards, but honestly, I'm almost glad because because holy cow. um, Holy shit, these have some intense energies. Because I actually used this during when I surrounded us, like I said, off camera, I surrounded us in energy. I actually used this, and this was definitely clearing me and already clearing you. Okay. So a lot of information came in, and I'm already over, which they said I was going to go a bit over, so this isn't going to be a long clearing. But you do have a lot of advice and just different information that came in as well about clearing yourself more and what's going on with some of those energies. And then other positive influences around you as well. So this, yeah, they're saying this was almost like a psychic development / aura clearing. Well, I think you got a psychic development reading last time as well, if I remember. So this is almost a little bit of an add-on to that. All right, so here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna surround myself one more time before I start. I don't know where this crystal is from, but it really has some, it really packs some energy, even though it's a little short. I bought these off eBay for like $10, like 30 pieces. Or less, I think, less than that. Anyway. Okay. So I'm clearing you, but I'm kind of feeling the blocks as they're bumped into. And right now I'm coming down the right shoulder. And this has some chords in it. That's what that is. This is some kind of chord. Feels like to a thought form. They're not really going to go into information about that, but you can clear that yourself. So I'm going to pass down some more now. So they're pointing it out, but they don't really want me to clear it. I feel like I wouldn't be able to clear it in a very short amount of time. Okay. Well, coming down the right hand now. Pumping into some blocks there as well. Okay, now now I'm passing around the underarm area. Here I'm taking a few passes. Here in this area, there people can tend to store a lot of energies in there. I'm even seeing like there's some type of vortex around these areas here. But I know that people can kind of absorb like family types of energies and anything on your shoulder, your back. A lot of times this has to do with like burdens that people carry. But a lot of times it's associated with like what's behind you. So like ancestors, things like this. So it can be pass down thought forms, beliefs, you know, and energies. And specifically the mother on the right side, they're saying. And it would take more energy to get into all of that, or more time, rather. And they've said really all they want to say as far as a lot of information. So they're just kind of making you aware of some small things, but they're not really going into great detail about it, since we've already taken so much time for the reading. And I don't normally go over like this, but like I said, for not this much anyway, but like I said, for some reason I'm being guided to. Sometimes I might go like 5 minutes over or so. Okay, now I'm coming up around the root chakra and the top of the right leg still. So there's some manifestation blocks going on here, but some of this has to do with grounding. Whoa! And then coming down to the left leg, there's some blocks going on there, having to do with the root passing through into the ground, the manifestation. But this is the left leg, so this has to do with the receiving end of things. Ooh, and some of this has to do with the worthiness thing. Has to do with not being worthy to receive. All right, whoa. Okay, so we're going to pass down now. That isn't completely cleared, but we're going to pass down now. And like I said, they're kind of making you aware of some of these areas so you can, you can clear some of this yourself. Whoa, I got my solar plexus really going off while I'm actually visualizing the energy going around your toes now. On the left foot though. Okay, so some of this worthiness thing, it has to do with the solar plexus, but also you won't take the necessary steps some of the time, and this feels like due to a fear. But again, a lot of times this is you picking up on someone else, not yourself, not your stuff. So again, they're talking about voicing your opinions more, not caring about the reactions of others, and just going with the flow, your own flow, doing what you want to do, saying what you want to say. This is kind of general since they don't really have time to get into a lot of detail, like I said, but these are what some of these, well, general blocks are. Again, some of this is going back to the mother. I get a feeling from them, like from her specifically, this Bridget, this energy, like the father too, the father too, but the mother. Some of this is specifically the mother. Some of it I feel like is specifically the father, some other things, but the mother. Okay, so I came down the arm. Now I'm coming up to the left shoulder. This is like the crystal barely wants to move over this area. All right, now the left side is the mother's side, and the shoulder does generally have to do with family that came before you. So parents and beyond. Whoa, all right. So I'm going to go ahead. That does need more clearing, but I'm going to go ahead and come up to the head here. So I'm visualizing now we're coming up around the left ear. All right. You've got some beliefs going on the left side of the head. So this again, coming from the mother, I feel the grandmother too. Some of this is a passed down type of thing. Whoa, and they're showing me some cords at your back. I feel my solar plexus going off again. Well, one of these they're showing me is directly like behind your solar plexus. Whoa, it almost looks like it's going into the chakra. Who's a psychic vampire, anyone? Somebody. All right, so I know they're not going to go into details about that, but you should think about that. Who's the psychic vampire in your life? We're still on the left side, so think about somebody female as well. I feel like this could also be male. But think specifically about somebody female that this specific cord might be connected to. Honestly, some of this, because I'm even feeling like a child's energy with this cord. Some of this is almost what you give. Some of this is almost you giving yourself away too much. Whoa. All right, now I'm coming around to this this left shoulder again. This is, or sorry, the right shoulder again. All right, my right shoulder is hurting. And my neck. All right, ow. Didn't hurt that whole time. Whoa. Okay, so that is, I'm going to go ahead and surround you one more time. Okay, so they're saying there are some healing abilities coming in too. That you may be aware of, like the ability to comfort others, listen to others, offer them emotional healing, emotional support. So these are the beginnings of some healing abilities coming in. All right, now I have this last crystal here. I'm just going to simply just visualize this going over you. All right, so I'm going to visualize this over myself first here. Okay, so the reason that I was feeling multiple energies though with that cord is because it's like in some ways you allow people to almost psychically vampire off you, or you have in the past, specifically the past. You don't do it as much now, but this could still be somewhat a present thing. I don't feel like they're totally excluding the present. I just feel like you did it in the past much more to a higher degree, and you kind of wore some of these chakras out a little bit and developed some cords going into them. So now you need to focus on revitalizing those chakras, like they said with the Soelu. All right, so I'm going to come around you with this last crystal here, but I'm not really clearing you. I'm just visualizing this energy just kind of going over you. This is going to help you connect to your guides as well, is the feeling that I get. Yeah, that makes sense, because this crystal specifically is called peacock ore, and it helps to cleanse and revitalize all the chakras. And I'm feeling like a breath again, almost like your guides are kind of breathing this over you, this energy over you, and you need to you definitely need to do some breathing, and even visualize them breathing it over you. I even see them like singing. They're like singing over you, especially this goddess Bridget and these fairy energies. Okay, so the last thing coming in, this came in earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and say this, and then this is going to include the energy, conclude the reading. You can also think about kind of getting a little more active with these fairy energies around you too, these fairy spirits, and that's not hard to do. You just spend time in nature. You can do things like a fairy meditation to meet some of the fairies around you, and this type of thing. And also you can even connect to these rune energies as well. This would be good for you and help almost stir something up. And that's easy too. You buy a set of runes, a rune bag like I've got with a set of runes. They can be stones, or sometimes they come like round pieces of wood, even pieces. They should be even. And just pull them periodically when you feel to. You can get a paper, see what they mean. I've found, even in a logical way, if you're not really reading them intuitively, they're very very accurate. Really, even in that way, they're very accurate. All right, so your guides are around you. They are supporting you in cleansing yourself, in grounding, in activating these gifts that you have, in stepping into them more, in revitalizing yourself, revitalizing your chakras, and pulling out of other people's negative energies, which you don't want to claim for yourself. That all came in very quickly. Okay. This whole reading is kind of coming very, very quickly, just on and on and on. All right. So that is a very empowering message for you, and I hope that you will find that it benefits that. And the clearing, even though the clearing was a bit short, thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading and clearing for you. And I hope, as I said, that it benefits you and helps you on your path. Thank you very much. Namaste.